Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. This couldn't come at a better time. We are jam-packed, ladies and gentlemen. A jam-packed show for you guys today. Of course, to the left of me or right of me, however it's viewing on your side, we got the main man, Swoderquist, with the shades on. And joining us today, the man that was leading the choo-choo train this weekend. He let you know that it was coming. You didn't want to believe him. Mr. Myles Graham.
What's up, y'all? Go Gators, go Gators.
Go Gators, baby. How you doing, Mr. Five-star linebacker in the building?
I'm doing great, man. I'm pumped up. Hey, best week of my life this past week, man. Hey, all the hard work and recruiting paid off.
I love it. Go ahead.
Best weekend for all of us.
Yeah,
Finally we got the Jubilee weekend we wanted.
Exactly, man. We set records, man. They can't touch us now, and we not stopping anytime soon.
I love it, man. I think, look, I love that you said it was the best weekend you've had. Like Dave just said, I think for fans, it's something we haven't. I don't think we've ever had anything like this, but definitely nothing like this for a very long time. And I was telling you, I've got something queued up that I wanted to tell you before. I didn't tell you before the show because I wanted you to react live to it. So a couple of my buddies and I will always look, Holly, who you met just a little bit ago, the voice behind the curtain. We'll go back and we'll look at old classes, right? And we'll see kind of like, man, that was a hell of a class. Like, that was a class that did it. That Tebow, Brandon Spikes class for the Florida Gators, right, back in the early 2000s, that's a class that you always look back to. It's like, how'd they pull all those dogs off, right? This class, look, obviously I'm on my high right now because I'm having a big weekend. But when I go look at the lineup, I look at that class, and I go, this class has that potential to, in 10, 15 years from now, we look back and go, that's it right there. That was the class that did it. What do you think to that, man?
That's going to be it. Man, I see that's hey, I didn't even think about it like that, but I can definitely see that. Like I'm looking up to Brandon Spikes and DJ looking up to Tim Tebow. Man, I could definitely see that. We are definitely gonna be one of those classes that brings back an Natty and be one of those legendary classes, man. So I can see that happening for sure. We got all the tools. We just gotta put it together, man. We got everything in place. We just gotta execute. That's all it is.
I love it. Look, this half the battle, right? Still got to play football. X's and O's still count, but it starts here. It starts off the field.
Football. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
This started it off. So this is we have momentum. We just have to keep adding, keep on building. But once we get there, we got to take care of the nitty gritty and do what nobody wants to do. And once we get there, there's no stars, there's no rankings, there's no none of that. We got to do what we do and just come out on top.
Yeah, I got to get it to work, man. And man, I was sitting there. I was talking to. We kind of talk about this before the show. David Waters had brought up a good stat and said, in 2013 was the last time that Florida had 6 top 100 players in their class, and they did it in 2023. And also, it is the highest. I think it's like the highest average star rating since 2013. There was a lot of records that were broken from like 2013. It's insane. And it's the first time that Florida's been ranked second or third in June in 2013.
That's crazy because it's only Coach Napier's second year, man. And I told him they're gonna put this under investigation because he shouldn't be doing this in his second year. So they might try to tell us we're doing something illegal, but we're not. Everybody just wants to be a part of and build something great. Everybody sees the potential in the University of Florida. Everybody sees that we are going to be a powerhouse. We're going to build our way up to becoming that.
Dude, I love hearing the investigation. That's definitely been going around on Twitter that they're cheating. Something's going on. So
we're the most hated. We're the most hated school in the whole. Like, everyone hates us. I don't know why, but everybody just hates on us for no reason.
So speaking to that,
I've always said it's better to.
You know this.
We got a super chat from James Ridge, and he says, "What's up, Shelton David? Great show. Little known fact about Myles: his favorite person in college recruiting is Chad Simmons. Can you elaborate on that?"
Hey, absolutely not. That's pure sarcasm right there. Pure sarcasm. Me and him, we got a little. He's evil, bro. He's evil.
So you got a little beef with him then. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we definitely have beef. We're gonna settle it one day when I'm done playing and all that.
Gotta get through the nonsense first. So I love that. I love it. I love it. Well, Myles, talk to us a little bit about. We got your tape up right now. Kind of want to hear about you and what you're hoping to bring to the Gators. Again, you've talked before in interviews, kind of just that linebacker position and what it takes to play that role. You also play a little bit of running back as well. But I mean, you watch the film, man. You're dialed in. It's the quarterback on the defensive side of things. What is it that separates you from everybody else, and what are you hoping to bring to Florida?
Yeah, so I think what separates me from everybody else is my instincts. It's just something that I was born with, man, that a lot of guys don't have. So my instincts in the way that I'm just so natural at the game. I feel like I'm natural on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. It's just something that just comes with me, and it's just gonna keep getting better as I get older and keep training and all that. But I mean, I'm not a crazy physical specimen. I'm not super fast. I'm pretty strong, but I'm not super fast or anything like that. I'm just a dog, man, and I just play sideline to sideline, and I just have a mentality that nobody can hold me, nobody can stop me from doing what I need to do to help my team win. So that's what I'm trying to instill into the guys in my class, and make them have the same mentality that I have, and just be an all around leader, man, on the field and recruiting and everything. Just pushing the guys to be their best selves.
And when you're watching the film, and it's almost like you're having like a third person experience, right? Like you can almost, by watching you, it feels like it's like you're playing the video game, right? Where you can see everything. Exactly. Like that's how you're moving around the field, as if you know where everyone's going to be at a certain time. Like it's just so smooth, so just natural instinct. Like you said, like I'm not the biggest guy, I'm not the fastest guy, but I'm 2 steps ahead of everybody else. And what's great is look, the size and all that's going to come, especially with Mark Hawk and that training facility. That's going to get built up.
That's what I'm least worried about, man. There's just what you can't teach. You can teach guys like strength and all that, but you can't teach like breaking down film, taking the extra hours out, grinding when you need, doing all the stuff that nobody wants to do. That's why I was always 2 steps ahead. And when you know what you're doing on the field, you play 100 times faster. If you're confused out there and lost, you're not gonna play fast. But when you know what you're doing, you know your assignment, you know what you need to do, you're gonna play and take people's heads off and just have fun with it.
Absolutely. And we got a question here. You're up for some questions from the chat from the professor. What do you think about the family of linebackers coming in? I mean, 4, 5, and 6. Boom, 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 baby.
Man, I feel we're turning it around in the LBU for real. So, I mean, I'm excited about it. We all want to compete. We're gonna make each other better, push each other. We're all just a group of dogs ready to work, man. So. It surprised me. I could when I committed, I didn't see it, the linebacker class coming out like this, man. So I'm excited for it.
You retweeted this graphic that's going around real quick. It's gonna pop up after this. Of it keeps getting bigger of all the recruits that are joining. This photo right here is my favorite because it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And you retweeted it, and you go, I remember I was just by myself. I remember when you committed. I think it was just you and Bowens, which he's now at Georgia, but it was just me. just hanging out.
I was by myself. I was by myself, lonely. I'm like, where's everybody at, man? I was just like, dang, it's just me. It's just me talking to Katie and Bree. Like, there was nobody in class. But now it's like, whoa, like time flew, and now we have like 15 plus commits, and like it was like, where did all the time go? Because I felt like for a while when I first committed, I was like, all right, this is getting boring. I don't have anybody with me. It was like moving slow, but when one committed, all the rest started to fly in.
What's cool? Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say, I know the coaching staff and everybody had a lot to do with that too. But good job, dude. Like seriously, good job, because we're the number 3 and number 2 class right now on certain sites. So you did one hell of a job from being alone.
Yes, sticking to it.
Hey, I try my best, man. I try my best.
We got another super chat here from Sorley. He says, Graham, my man, what's the brotherhood like with 2023 and the 2024 class? How's Napier and company fitting the pieces together to ensure elite execution? And who are you looking forward to playing with the most? So a couple part question there. I can repeat it once you start answering them.
Okay, I heard the first part. Okay. So the 2023 2024 class relationship, those guys like some schools I go to, I visited Georgia before. Those guys are Hollywood. Like they don't really talk to the younger guys for real. But like at Florida, the 23 guys are real cool. They're laid back. Like we look up to them guys, man. They had a great class too. and I'm excited to see what they do. Those guys, they really take us in. They teaching us, they show us the ropes, man. They're teaching us the ways, what to do, what not to do when we get there, how to just just maximize our opportunities at Florida, like when it comes to the weight room, everything, classroom, money, all that. So they really show us the ropes and teach us the ways, man. So that we're really appreciative of that.
I love hearing, again, like the one thing that I love getting, I was going to mention to it earlier, just your mindset, right? How you were talking about, like, you can't teach, the grind, reading, watching the film, being bought in. And then you, again, talking about how that 2023 class and how it's a brotherhood and they're taking us in. When I interview all of you guys, it's always the same answer. And it's not like you guys get together beforehand and go, hey, this is what we're going to say. Just shows how genuine each relationship is. And a word that keeps coming out of the camp from Billy is the genuine dude. And you even said before that, he's like, yeah, he's a real genuine guy. Like, you wouldn't expect, like, what you see on the outside, it's him, but he gets more personal as you get closer to him.
Exactly.
Part of that question, too, he says, how is Napier and company fitting the pieces together to ensure elite execution? Have they talked about that, kind of how you're going to fit into the mold?
Yeah, I know defense, I know my role, and I know that I'll be playing Will inside backer. I know that I'll be like we recruited some of the biggest dudes like I've ever seen. Like Micah from Creekside, Georgia. He's a command. He's about 376, 6'5", 6'6". Like we have some huge D linemen, and that's gonna keep them old linemen off of me. So I'll just be running free, making plays. I'll be a really versatile linebacker that can blitz and cover and do everything that they need me to do. Just an all around athlete. So that's how they see me fit. And like the D line, they're huge, and we got a huge D line class. So like that'll really help us linebackers make plays, run around, and just be ball players.
I love it. That's something great we've been hearing as well too. And then his last part of his question was, who are you looking forward to playing with the most? That's a lot of fun guys you could go off there.
Ooh, I don't want anybody to like look on here and be mad at me. Let me think.
That's always a tough one, but look, all of them. But
all you gotta do is say all of them, but.
Nah, I'm excited to play with all of them, but I'm excited to play with most.
There you go.
I gotta say Ardarius. Because our play styles are similar. He was one of the first commits. He was the fourth. He was early on after DJ. Yeah, he was the fourth commit after DJ. And that's just my guy. We're from the same area, Florida area. So I'm excited to play with him. He's a dog. It's gonna push me to be better.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you too. You were talking about like your technique and what you've learned in football and everything. And obviously, you're the son of a Hall of Famer here, Ernest Graham. What's that like? What's that a testament to him, man? What's he taught you? How's he got you through all of this and got you to where you're at now?
Man, I mean, I always talk about him, talking my head off all the time. He's always giving me advice and everything, but I appreciate it, man. It can get a little dragged out every once in a while, but I love it. It's gonna make me into the man I want to be. It's gonna hopefully one day I grow up to be the man that he is. That's
now
not
was he
just football. That's.
Did he influence your decision, or was it just always Florida with you no matter what?
No. He didn't influence my decision. No, that was all me. I mean, well, being a legacy influenced my decision, but he didn't influence it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He was wherever you want to go. He's cool with it.
Like,
now, you guys, y'all have plans to move to Gainesville. Are you guys already here, or are y'all going to move?
Oh yeah,
later,
we're already here. We've been here for a couple weeks.
Oh man, I can't grab another local interview. You were at Woodward Academy, man. Now I got to drive down there.
Hey,
yeah. We're in Winter City now.
Will you be at Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, I'll be there.
We got to get a photo, my man. I'll be there. Let's link up.
Pull up, bro. Pull up.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there recording. We'll probably go live a couple times, so we'll see what we can do. But definitely need to get a photo. That'd be a good time. Real quick, and this is going to lead because everyone wants to know what's coming up next. $100 super chat from Cam Bishop. He said $100 incoming class in 2024. Let's get it, boy. Go Gators. Now, everyone's popping in here going, Myles, what's next, man? When are we going to see the shades again? You know what I mean? Look, Dave's had them on. I got them right here ready.
Hey.
Let's talk. Hey, I know you can't say too much.
I'll wear them during the day or at night.
Hey, we need another graphic. We need another graphic out there. We need another clip up. We need another quote from Myles is what we're looking for here.
Listen. I can't say too much, but just stay. Like I said last time, y'all gotta listen this time. Just stay tuned. Okay. Let me see. What can I give y'all a hint? All right. The only thing I'll say, never mind. I can't give away too much.
Okay. Let me ask you this: Is it a position that we don't think it's gonna be?
No. It's a pretty predictable position. It's a pretty predictable.
Okay.
Position.
All right.
He's actually one of my good friends. But I can't spoil his surprise. I'm sorry.
I respect that. I wouldn't want you to. I don't want you to do that on here. So not that person that you're referring to, but obviously a lot of question marks on some big splashes. Could we expect some bigger splashes, or is it in the works? I mean, may not be a lock in, but I know you and Lagway, that the two leaders, the two quarterbacks in a sense of recruiting, are pushing for some big wrap ups to close this class up. Can we get like a wink or a?
Yeah, we won't have another one like we just had, but we'll have a few more splashes here and there. Like we might.
I think it's gonna be hard to follow this past weekend. I think that's gonna be something that
might not happen for some years.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't think we gotta understand. Like we can't expect that again. But now it's just
we'll have some here and there.
Piecing it together. Real quick, we got a super chat from Sean-O-Matic, $10. Thank you, man, for the support. And he also donated another $20. And he says, does Mr. Graham feel like he would play edge, side, or middle linebacker? Much love for you and your dad. And what about and what you're about to do for this program?
Yeah. Much love, my guy. Appreciate the support. But I'll be playing inside. I'll be playing middle, like where Shamar James, Venture Miller, those guys play. I'll be playing that position.
Awesome.
What else? What was the rest of the question?
I think that was it, and then he kind of gave you some love for your dad, and then excited for what you're going to – I misread it.
Yeah. Much love, bro. Much love. For sure.
Clint Watson's super chat says, $10 says, ask Myles if he would sign my baby's forehead. I need retirement.
Hey, bring him to the swamp. Man. I got my signature ready. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. Bring him to the swamp.
We need that on a graphic. Myles, will you sign my baby's forehead? Bring him to the swamp.
Yeah, of course. I sign anything, bro. I sign anything. I won't mind.
I've heard stories from like former players. You'll get some people to sign some weird things, and you know what I mean by that. But
yeah. I already know. I know it.
And then another super chat from Alapac.
Anything for the fans.
I love it, man. And he goes, let's go, Sheldon. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Myles, dude, I hope you have a fantastic time with the team, with our team, and go Gators, man. This family is absolutely pumped to have you a part of it. And look, I'm excited to see you. Are you going to be now participating at Friday Night Lights or just kind of recruiting and hanging out?
No, just recruiting and hanging out. Heavy on the recruiting now. Heavy on the recruiting. Any big names that are going to be there that we may have not heard yet that you could maybe talk about? Just visiting. I know they're not no commits, just and that you got your eye on. Yeah. Like hey, I'm focusing on talking to this person, working this angle. There's a couple linebackers. There's a couple linebackers that I'm trying to recruit. There is one for I think from IMG. His name is Gat. I'm not sure if he's going, but Coach Bateman kind of told me that, and it's not as many star-studded guys like as it was last year, but there's some sneaky dogs that, like, they're not big names, but they're like sneaky dogs that are pretty good that I'll be recruiting. But I don't have all the names for them right now, but.
Yeah, no worries. And so two things, Seth. It's interesting. So, like, star-studded. So, yes, last Friday Night Lights was huge with 5 stars and big-time guys. I don't think we've got many of them from that Friday Night Lights, but I do recall, and we've talked about this on the show, we were kind of going into that Friday Night Lights a little behind the 8 ball. The class wasn't where it is right now, right?
No, it wasn't. No, not at all.
We were playing catch-up and clean-up at that last Friday Night Lights. We're going into this Friday Night Lights like I said, we should be going into, and I'm glad that I hit on the head of in control, and we're going into Friday Night Lights with a little more of all right, how are we going to close it out?
Momentum.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have really good momentum right now, and we really got to capitalize on that because it's not we don't really have much time left. I mean, some of us are early enrolling in January, so we got to close it on out, man. Hopefully, we're gonna end with some heavy hitters. So y'all stay ready for that.
That's usually like when a class really wants to fill it up too, because a lot of these guys, they start their senior seasons and then there's early signing day in December. So during the season, it's really hard to recruit. Yeah. So you don't want to have to, you don't want to have to recruit during the season. So you'd rather just fill up the class as much as you can now before the season starts. And and you got the dead period in July, and then obviously you have early signing periods. So I get that.
We got a couple of Cooper Super Chats, man. I appreciate you being cool with this. I think they're excited to ask you these questions. Of course. Ty Tyndall, $20 says, ask about Jeremiah Smith. Again, say what you can. Okay. That's going to be the question. What can you give us?
Yeah, I'm an honest guy, so I'm gonna give y'all what I'm being honest. I don't think we really have the best chance with him. Right now, I think we did at some point, but Ohio State really closed it on out. I'm pretty sure I think he's pretty locked in with Ohio State. I don't think he's gonna. He told me he was gonna. I talked to him a few times. I was recruiting him, but he told me he might flip here and there. But I don't. At this point, it's late June. It would have to be. We would have to, the flip would probably have to happen after the season. So I don't.
Like a last minute signing day flip.
Yeah, last minute signing day flip, something like that. But me personally, I think he was playing around a little bit. So he's a cool guy though. But I don't know if he's coming to Florida.
Well, I appreciate the honesty, dude. That's very refreshing. Shut it down. Let's move on. Okay, good. I love it. Thank you.
Don't waste time.
I love this guy. This is my kind of dude right here.
Don't waste time.
I love that. Oh man,
that's the worst thing you do is waste time.
$10 from Enroll Walker says, "Can't wait to see you in the swap, man. Waiting on your merch. Go Gators." Oh man, you got some cool stuff planned up for some merch.
I do. We're working on it. Hey,
cool.
If you guys can support, I would love it. I would love to support. We're working on it for sure, though.
Oh, absolutely. And let them know where they can follow you, so when that drops, they can get on top of that. We'll do that again at the end.
Definitely.
Go ahead. You can let them know where they're at now. Where to follow you.
Oh yeah, y'all can follow my Twitter. It's Myles Graham 2. The M is capitalized and the G. So y'all can follow me on there, and I'll announce everything on there.
Love it, man. And we got another super chat from Sean Amatic. He didn't put a question, but he just donated, so thank you, Sean. I got a couple things, and there's a few more in here as well. I want to talk to you kind of about the recruiting process. So this year was the first year that official visits were, unlimited now for the recruits. And I think it's definitely had an impact on just the entire atmosphere for the recruits and how you're planning your visits and how when you're committing. Again, you committed really early, but you've been involved talking with the recruits. Mm-hmm. You kind of get what they're at. Has that changed the way they're going through this process? And I feel like it seems exciting, but I'm seeing a lot of guys being like, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm ready to lock it in and not have to worry about this anymore. What's your thoughts and takes on that?
Yeah, so the unlimited, I think that was kind of pointless because you only have so much time to take official visits, right? So after your junior season, after your junior school year, you can start taking official visits. So that's only like a few months, right? And you can take some in the fall, but that's only like 3 or 4 months. So taking and nobody wants to take that money. That's a lot of traveling. That tires you out, man. So I think 5 was a good number. I don't think that's changing any I don't think that's changing any recruitments or anything. I don't think anybody will still take more than 5 official visits.
Interesting.
To be honest with you, I don't think anybody will take more because that's a lot of work right there. That's traveling and everything. But for me personally, I only took one in Florida. I shut down my recruitment. I'm just trying to focus. I'm a focused guy. I didn't want to be with all the BS, and I don't need all that. That's just a distraction. So that's how the other guys in our class too are too. So
yeah. So and obviously on Twitter and we'll talk about it as well. So it feels like some kids are just taking the official visit to get the experience. Have you had guys
100%.
come through that you feel that are just doing that to hang out, but then you've got guys that are serious, like, look, this is a business mission. Like, I'm coming here to really decide. I don't need 5. I don't need 6. I don't need 7. I just need I'm between this school and this school, and I really want to see how it's going to feel to play here every single Saturday. Do you see guys like that coming through now?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think some guys aren't really taking it as seriously as they should. I think some guys are just having fun going around taking trips, but I mean, I can respect that. You can only get to do this once in your life, and
Sure.
you're not gonna get it back. You're not going. You're this recruitment, like being treated like a king, kind of like whenever you go to schools and stuff, you only get to do that once. So I mean, I can respect it, but I mean, to me, I don't need that. I don't need the hype and the clout and all the glory and all that. I don't need to. I just need to be focused on what I'm building, what I want to build, and I think some guys are actually seriously actually considering 1 or 2 schools. Like some guys are taking 2 or 3 official visits. Like that's how you know somebody's serious. They don't really know yet, so they're still like trying to find out where their home is.
Yeah, and Myles, you alluded to like shutting down your recruitment. A lot of players came out on Twitter and shut down theirs too. I mean, there's still some that haven't. Do you foresee more players doing the same thing?
Yeah, I think a few more will, but I think some guys will keep it open, but not really like taking visits or anything. I think some guys won't actually like come out and say it, but their recruitment's they're not really, doing like
Keeping the door open just in case, but they're not actively searching.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
they're
wanting,
not actively searching.
they're wanting the free trip and the free food, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're not actively searching for it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple more super chats, man, and then we'll wrap it up. And again, I appreciate you. We could talk all day, dude. I love this. I know the fans love it too, man. And thank you for coming on here. $5 from Jacob says, I'm so excited to see Myles play in the swamp. Go Gators and hashtag Maybach Bailey. Did you get it? Did you get to ride the Maybach? No, you had a G-Wagon when you went.
No,
right?
I did G-Wagon.
How was that? Did you ride by yourself or did you have some other people in there with you?
No, I rode by myself. Well, I was the first recruit to ride in the G-Wagon. Like the first day they picked us up, he picked me up from the hotel. We went to the photo shoot and stuff. But the G-Wagon I never been in one. That thing, the all white was hard. The all white was hard.
I love it, man. That's sick. I think that was a good touch too.
Cool. Yeah, it was icy. It was icy.
Yeah. I was actually jealous. I was like, man, I want to go on a recruiting visit there, man.
Man, it was sick.
Just tell them I'm like your cousin or something, and then me and you can both go.
Yeah. Myles,
I got you.
I'll
I'll bring y'all along. Yeah, I'll bring y'all.
There you go.
You got a couple OVs left. Hook us up, man.
Yeah, I do. Oh man.
Hey, they're hitting you with the questions hard, man. So what about Colin Simmons? Where they want to know, since you're dropping truth bombs tonight, they're coming after you.
Truth bomb. Colin Simmons. I honestly think we have a better chance with Colin Simmons than Jeremiah Smith. Honestly.
Okay.
I
appreciate that.
I respect that. That'd be fun.
Xavier and DJ are both Texas boys, so those guys are close. I think they'll recruit. I think they'll recruit him pretty hard. I think they're still recruiting pretty hard, especially DJ. So I think we have a better chance than Jeremiah Smith. Honestly, I think we can make a shot. I think it's between us, Georgia, maybe Texas. I don't know, but we're coming strong with them.
That's exciting to hear. After the Jeremiah Smith comments, I think that kind of brings the juices back up to everybody.
I gotta give some hope.
Yeah. No, it's good. I love it. A super chat from Devil Dog, and I kind of put this. It's more of a statement, but he goes, Shelton, challenge him to a workout. Him, and Coach Armstrong. So I worked out with Lorenzo Lingard and threw up 2 or 3 times.
Oh.
But I'm down. I'm always up for a challenge. So maybe since you're in Gainesville, we'll have to link up.
I work out at Newman Speed Elite.
That's where I did it. That's where I did it at. Yeah.
I'd be contemplating my whole football career in there.
Okay. So it's not just me. It's not just me.
It's not just you.
All right, hey, look, I'll get with you after the show if you're down. I'll come. You're gonna be working out anyways. I'll just go puke again, I guess, for 3 hours, whatever. Like,
let's do it, bro.
Who cares about my health? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, y'all can run the 40 and give him like a 10-second head start, and you'll still beat him.
Oh yeah, we could do some fun challenges. Yeah, let's do
that. Let's do that.
I mean, speaking of that, I work out a lot. How much do you bench and squat, man?
My bench max is 355. My squat max is 465, and then my power clean is 280.
Hey, Dave.
Dang.
Got that dog. That's a beast.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about Coach Armstrong, man. Probably one of my new favorite coaches on staff, and just his energy from the sidelines, electric, man. Talk to him. Talk to us about it, man.
Yeah.
What's he doing, man? What's he doing on the trail?
Dude, that man's electric. Like, I went to spring practice. He's a ball of energy, dog. Like, he'll get after you, but he'll love on you and everything. I love Coach Armstrong. And he knows what he's talking about too. He's a young and up and coming coach that's gonna be on top of the college football world one day. I can see it in him, man. I can see it in him. But he's a ball of energy, man. And that's just the type of guy you want to be around. You know, type of guy you want to get coached by. It's just fun guy to be around, man. Everybody loves to be around Coach Armstrong.
I got goosies hearing that, bro. That fires me up. But how much of an impact? Because he came in just a few months ago. How much did he have an impact on this little spark of recruiting? Because we got some D linemen, some defensive guys. How much did he impact that, and how much are guys seeing what he's coming in able to do?
Yeah, man. So he's had a large impact on it. I feel like the guys coming in really want to play for him. They're really excited to get coached by him, and their position coaches obviously too. But they're excited, man. He's just all around great guy too, man. He loves your family. He's a great dude, great coach, and he knows ball very well.
He seems sharp as a tack. Myles, I got one question from Nick, and then we're gonna let you get out of here, man, because I know you got to get back to work, and then I'll see you at Friday Night Lights. Hopefully, we'll get a photo.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. Nick says we can't let Mincy and McCray go to FSU. We need them. It's more of a statement than a question. And then he wants to know, what are our chances with Abrams, Chance, and Robinson on flipping to us? What I told you, you're going to get the press.
They're trying to dip for some info right here, man.
Hey, they're reaching for gold. All right, so Xavier and LJ, I actually saw them today. I talked to them today. I think we're in great spots with them. I think we're in great spots with them. We're in good spots with the Mangland boys. But the other guy's TJ Abrams. He's hot, man. He's hot. I think he's hot. I think he's close. That's all I'm gonna say. And Chance, they're I think we're right there. I'm gonna keep recruiting. I'm gonna keep hitting the phone up. They're gonna get tired of me, but we gonna be playing together one day. So those guys, I'm gonna stay
one way or another. You're coming.
One way or another.
You're gonna be calling them more than the coaches, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, Myles, man, I appreciate you coming on here and taking the beating from these guys. You took it like an absolute champ with their questions. They're worse than the media sometimes. They don't have to follow the rules of the media.
Yeah, they don't.
They get to send it. Well, let me know where they can follow you, man. Obviously, we're going to be cheering your name come next fall. And let us know when the merch drops and all that jazz, because we're huge fans. And we'll definitely have to work out and meet up. But let me know where they can follow you, man.
Okay, yeah. Y'all can follow me at Myles Graham on my Instagram, MYLES with 2 S's and GRAHAM, and my Twitter is Myles Graham 2_. So y'all can hit me up on there. We can connect.
All right, Myles. Before you go, you got to give us a chomp and go Gators, and then we'll see you later.
Yeah, go Gators, baby. Go Gators.
There it is, man. You have a good night, boss.
So we like.
All right.
Be good, man.
Yes, sir.
See you, Myles.
Yes, sir, boys and girls. Wow. All right, and the shows are ruined. And Stevie, what's up, big fella? How we doing, Bubba? He's muted. It's typical.
How are you guys doing today? How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Myles is a hoot, brother. Myles is a hoot.
Dude, he's such a good time, man.
That was amazing.
You guys were in the chat. Sorry to get everything. Obviously, we wanted to give Myles his full love and attention. But I appreciate you guys. Almost 300 people in here so far, which is incredible on a Wednesday in the middle of June. Really means a lot to me. So make sure you guys show some love, subscribe. We still have a lot to go over. We're just getting started, boys. We have a jam-packed show for you. We're excited to talk about it. So let's just keep the train rolling here. because we do got a lot to go over. So we're going to get Steve's opinion. Steve's been MIA. We had a little bit of a rough weekend partying and having a good time down there at the Steenhatchee. Steve's a little bit older. It takes him a little bit longer to get ramped back up. So here he is, live and well. Boys.
Finally. Shook it off. My skin is peeling off. It's just sheathing off my back right now. I'm still recovering from just the exposure to sun, but hell of a time. Shelton, do you want to tell them where you slept Wednesday night? Come
on, Steve. That's bro code, bro. You don't, Steve.
No,
you don't.
It's not.
Steve,
It's not.
So you guys saw me on the show Wednesday, and I said I was a little buzzy, and I was buzzy, and I wasn't that bad. But then we started playing this game I got called Pop Darts, not Pop Tart, Pop Darts, and the losers had to take fireball shots. Well, I'm competitive, so if I lose, I'm like, no, we're playing another one. And so everything that I was drinking, and then you put fireball on top of that, did not mix well. And we went to bed at like 3 o'clock in the morning and woke up at like 7:30. Well, at some point between 3 o'clock and 7:30, the fireball was like, hey, I'm coming, and it's coming up. So I ran to the bathroom, but my soul left my body. Okay, like the amount of vomit that came out and how fast it came out and how hard it came out. I thought I was with Holly's mom with how hard it was coming out. It was ridiculous, and it was just coming out. And then I got up to go back to my bed, and I go, whoa. Like I was like in space, like spinning around, and I just collapsed to the ground, zonked. See you later. I woke up to one of our buddies, the sound of his piss into the bathroom, and I look up and go, you fucking kidding me? And that's what woke me up.
I was just gonna throw it out there that you crashed on the bathroom floor.
I mean, if we're gonna tell him, we gotta tell him.
Put it out there.
If we're gonna tell him, we're gonna tell him. I'm not gonna not tell him.
Hey, I like Fireball, but man, you're a young cat. You shouldn't be puking. That should be me.
Dude, I don't know, man. Dude, I woke puking around though. Steve, did I not bounce back and ready to rock the next?
Maybe we were floating by 7.
Didn't miss a beat.
7:30.
Didn't miss a beat. Yeah, it was a little bit later than that. Didn't miss a beat.
It was a little bit later.
Yeah, but didn't miss a beat. Woke up and kept it rolling. So puke and rally, boys. # puke and rally. Well, Steve, I mean, you heard it. You saw it. You felt it. It was one of the most historic recruiting weekends, in general. Absolutely insane. With just how it happened and how it went down. Was it a retaliation to Lane Kiffin? At this point, who knows? Was it planned? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I want to think it was, but do we really think that it was a retaliation to Lane? And again, do we think we'll see something like this ever again? I think next year somebody will try to. I think this might be the start of something big, kind of like when LeBron joined Miami, the Big Three, right? That kind of started a trend. This seems like it could. I don't think it'll happen this year because it'll be too fresh. It won't have the same impact. But something big probably will happen in the same sort of fashion in the years to come, just to mimic # Jubilee Weekend. Boom.
Yeah.
Look, that was something I have not seen. Look, and I followed recruiting for a long time. This is before the internet and it really took over, and you had all these national beat writers and stuff like that. This is certainly before social media and the players having access on a larger platform. Well, really, there were only a couple of little niche sites here and there, like Rivals was just getting off the ground, where you would even this was even a publicized thing. So no, I don't think I've ever seen something on the wave or of that scale with that many high level recruits, one after the other, coming in, just ready to go. Now, look, the other thing I'll say is that Billy has shown that he can be coordinated and he can be strategic when it comes to when to keep his news cycle hot, right? Like he knows when he needs to keep a positive energy coming, and that just felt like with some of the question marks that came out of the big recruiting weekend, and maybe not as much activity afterwards as you would like. Plus, you had the Simmons thing, and I think that the guy who flipped to Georgia, that felt like it was like, look, we're not going to hold on to these guys. We're going to get them all. We're going to get them all together. We're going to tell anybody who has already made a commitment to us, maybe a silent commitment. We have to counterpunch what just happened with a couple of losses here to keep the Florida fan base engaged and to keep them at a high level of energy and engagement. And it felt like that was the perfect coordinated thing for Florida to come back and just throw a haymaker after a couple of body blows and a couple of folks that were maybe still holding their breath after a big weekend and not getting that instant gratification that they were looking for.
Yeah, I kind of think that like Billy Napier's just calculated. I don't know if he was pissed off, but I would tell everybody, I'd advise anybody out there, especially Lane Kiffin or anyone, don't piss off Billy Napier. Actually, I want you to, by the way, because I mean, man, just what happened in one Saturday. I mean, like you had 3 commits, one after the other after the other. It reminds me of when Dan Mullen's first year he was here, and you had the Lakeland trio all commit to Florida, but except these were higher rated guys. And on top of that, there was another commitment earlier that day. So it was 4 elite guys, either in the top 250,
We're talking about a blue chip stock
100.
here, boys.
Yeah, blue chips. These are all blue chips. And I haven't seen anything like that before. Now, you see these package deals where these kids say, hey, we're a package deal, and it's usually just 2 of them, right? And usually those package deals don't even work out. One goes one way, one goes the other. Every now and then you'll see it, and both guys will commit, but never seen 3 at one time just like that, just back after back after back. And, when your phone's blowing up and saying, hey, we're about to get another one. Hey, hurry up, about to get another one. You're just like, oh my God. And it's Saturday night too. So you're like out trying to like have dinner or have fun somewhere, and you're having to pick up your phone and report on like everything. I love that. Like, give me more of that. I don't care. I don't care where I'm at. So yeah, I don't know if it was more of Billy Napier pissed off or if it was more of just him being like calculated, or it could have just been they visited and they all wanted to commit too. So I mean,
Sure.
Hats off, man. Like, I wrote an article earlier today after the whole Austin Simmons announcement. I mean, you get a top 100 tight end commit, which kind of puts a little bit of it puts some water on that fire that all the Florida Gator fans were getting all hostile over. But still, you still had some Florida Gator fans that were still upset even with the tight end commitment. It made them feel a little bit better. So they're like, all right, okay, cool, maybe it's not that bad. But then at the end of the night, you didn't even give a crap about Austin Simmons flipping to Ole Miss. It was just the best feeling in the world.
Not even phased at all. And look, I put hashtag BB there, hashtag Big Ball Billy. Okay, Big Balls Billy right there, because he dialed in. And look, I think, was it calculated? Was it reaction? I don't know. It was perfect, is what I think it was. It was exciting to be a part of. Like, dude, it felt like Christmas. It felt like it was a Saturday football game. That's how cool it felt. You know what I mean? Like, we all came together that night. I mean, the chat was pumping, the lives were bumping, because it was like something to get fired up about. What made it even cooler was just the interaction and the responses from the recruits, from the current players, from past players. Again, my Twitter timeline is filled with Florida stuff, so it's hard for me to say that I don't see this with other stuff. I get Miami trickles and FSU trickles just based off of what I comment and talk shit to. So I do get FSU content a little bit. I'm obviously following Hayes and On3, so I get a little bit of residue from that stuff. I saw in the comments here from RJ, I think, that Texas A&M had 3 commits on Sunday as well. I didn't even realize they had 3 commits in one day, because there just wasn't as much noise and as much hype behind it. I haven't seen – look, again, I think it goes to the coaching staff was behind it. The recruiting staff was behind it. It wasn't just – it felt like a more of a tidal wave, right, a tsunami than just a nice big wave, right? And that was what was even cooler about it, was how involved everybody – it had – again, you had past players going, what the hell is going on? Brandon Spikes was tweeting about it. Mm-hmm. I want to say Van Jefferson Javon Dexter tweeted about it. So when those guys start tweeting, it's like, man, something's really going on if these guys are even talking about it. It just made it really special.
You had like Tate Casey, Alex Anzalone. Like, it was just, you've never seen like a huge player, like former player response, a huge current commits response, and then just like and the kids that were on the team, just responses from everybody. You never saw that ever. I've never seen that before. So it was just a crazy, amazing night for Florida Gator Nation. It was something that we needed, especially after the Chauncey Bowens news and the Austin Simmons news. I mean, we were down in the dumps.
We were down bad.
We were like the Undertaker when he's in the casket and he just rises back up. That's who we were.
Super chat. 10 gifted high top memberships from Tristan Creel.
There we go.
The family has been beautiful lately. You guys have been incredible.
Join that Discord.
Join the Discord. The link's, it's not expired anymore, okay, boys? It's the latest one. Click on that one. It works, I promise. Make sure we drop a like, too. We got almost 300 people in here and not enough likes. But, yeah, hell of a weekend. This got me thinking. Like, I was in the lab, boys, okay? Did Billy just hit 20,000 points? So, for any of you, I played Galaga growing up as a kid. My mom loved Galaga, so I played Galaga. I'm nasty at it. I'm not just saying that. Like, I'm nasty at it, okay? And when you hit 20,000 points, you get an extra life. So you start with 3, and if you're good at it, you're able to maneuver it. You get 2 spaceships, but you know that, hey, if I can say this together, I'm going to get extra life here in a minute. And they have other levels, but you're really focused on that 20,000 because it's that first life that you get one back. With this massive weekend here, because the noise prior to this and after Austin Simmons, oh my goodness, was it hot? Was it hashtag fire Billy? It was hashtag fire Strickland. It was hashtag burn Gainesville to the ground. I mean, it was nasty, okay? And look, I think 1 or 2 commits, like, okay, I'm bought in on Billy. But I think he overdid himself here, boys. I think he's you can't say anything now. I think at this point, like if this class ends where it is currently, maybe a little bit, maybe a spot or 2 down, he bought himself an extra ship. And look, the talks of firing him is crazy anyways. We've talked about it before. This guy's paid way too much here, right? He's worth way too much money. They're not going to get rid of him anyways. You'd be nonsense to do that anyways. But the Gator haters that have been questioning Billy the whole time, you got to think that he just bought himself an extra spaceship with those guys in the sense of like, hey, let's settle down. We got our guy. Todd Golden's cooking on the basketball side. Now Billy's cooking in his second year in. Maybe we all overreacted a little bit. A lot of people were in the chat apologizing for calling me a Disney Gator, which shout out to the ones that did. That's what takes a true man to go, hey, I was wrong. Now, still a lot of time left, and if things backfire, I'm sure I'll hear about it, but I was bought in. There's a reason I bought in. But I think it's safe to say that old Billy bought himself some more spaceships. What do you guys think? Do you think he bought himself some more time?
Yeah. Yeah, if you were to ask me, if you're down to your last life in a video game, yeah, you just bought yourself some lives. So I would say that was like 40 to 60,000 points. I mean, you know, you look at the class right now. I mean, number 2, number 3 already in June. I mean, of course, you still got to hold on to the guys until the end of December. So nothing's over in recruiting season. But, you know, the chances of, you know, we looked at I can't remember who had the actual graph. I think it was Bud Davis there on Twitter, but it's like once a kid commits to a school, there's like a certain percentage of a chance that they'll decommit or they'll flip. And the percentages are around like, I think it's like 20% or so, something like that. It was pretty low. So like if you can get a kid to commit, the chances of them decommitting or flipping are slim, but it happens every cycle. We see it happen every cycle, but you just hope that 20% is from some other team and not your team. And it could be more, but I think it was like around 20. So Steve, yeah, he gets an extra life.
Can you respond to this?
More.
Neil Wise says he watched a Vol podcast. Now you're FSU, so it's a little bit different, but the Vol podcast said he got lucky. You're as opposing fan base. What's your take on that, big guy?
Who got lucky? Billy?
I guess that's what. Yeah.
Look, no, that's ridiculous. One of the reasons that they brought Billy into Gainesville is because he was such a strong recruiter. If you go back and look at some of the classes that he put together in Louisiana, it's clear that he was able to bring good talent into a small school that didn't have nearly the recruiting prowess or abilities, just the facilities and everything else that Florida has to offer. So everybody knew that Billy was going to be a good recruiter, especially considering Mullen was such an average recruiter at best. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Mullen is didn't he say that it's not recruiting season, it's football season? Why are we talking about recruiting? So, I mean, if that gives you any inclination on what his mindset was, which is odd considering he came from Urban, and Urban was very good at it. But no, I mean, nobody should be super surprised that Billy's a good recruiter. He had a great recruiting class last year with a limited amount of time, and he's now got a year under his wing. I don't think that this is luck by any stretch of the imagination. I think that this is something that if you're a fan of a school that's going to go up against Billy Napier in a recruiting standpoint, you got to get used to the fact that this guy's going to get talent. I mean, that was just part of what got him the job to begin with.
Yeah, and I remember you being in the Discord and you were calling him Bilgert for Billy Taggart. You were calling him Billy Taggart. Yeah. What is he now?
Yeah.
Now you got to call him something else.
He still has to win more than 6 games.
Fair enough.
But what if he holds on to the recruiting class?
I mean, Taggart could recruit pretty well. I mean, he just couldn't do anything with the talent he brought in.
I don't know if he recruited like that, though.
Yeah,
not quite like that. Not quite like that. No. But then again, I mean, who has, right? I mean, Kirby's done it consistently. Saban's done it consistently. I don't think any first, second year head coach at a big school like that has come in and made that splash. So I mean, to that degree, no, you're not going to see anything to blow to touch this weekend or really what I think Billy's going to be able to do on a consistent basis. That being said, again, you still got to win more than 7 games, or else in 3 years, regardless of 5 number 1 classes in 5 years.
Well, yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, we got to win football games at the end of the day. 100%. But look, boys, we got over 250 people in here, which is incredible. Make sure you guys drop a like, show some love. There isn't a link in the description for a membership. That's on me. Might be. There might be a little tab where you can click join. I'm sorry. But again, I appreciate you guys. Drop a like, show some love, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I hope you guys are liking the new setup. Really putting a lot of time and effort into making this show better each week that we're on here. So you guys experience and view and experience is much better. So dropping a like lets us know that, hey, we're doing a good job and that you guys love it. So real quick, though, Muddy asked Steve, when are you going to commit to Florida? Is it an NIL issue? Do we need to call Victorious? Whatever you need. We're just asking. What is it? That's the holdup.
I mean, before we went live, I was trying to recruit Myles, so I don't think I'm going to flip at all.
He was.
I don't know. I was trying to get my man to flip. Look, I'll be completely honest. I didn't even know that his dad was Ernest Graham. I very, very clearly remember Ernest Graham in his career at Florida. I had no idea that was his kid, so I was fishing in foreign waters at that point. I had no idea that was probably
you basically were like the guys in the submarine. Like you definitely just went down the wrong.
Yeah, what am I doing here?
Too soon.
Just banging on things, hoping somebody hears me now.
Too soon. Real quick, super chat. 5 gifted memberships from Freckle Baz. My goodness, that guy's an absolute G, dude. He's the man. Guys, if you're gonna go to Friday Night Lights, be sure to come by and say hey. I don't know if you guys will be there or not, but please come say hey. So look, let's talk about who's next. Come on, ride this train. What's the future looking like? What are we going after here? What does this look like? Let me get this queued up so I can put Stevie O in here. And we're not gonna give him the big screen, boys. You guys are crazy. So look, let's talk about what this holds. We asked Myles a little bit on the possibility, the chances of landing a few of these kids. So we're gonna pass it over to Dave, the Statmeister here, about a few guys who we have our eyes on, and then we have a really cool thing that we put together, a mock recruiting board on how many spots we have left, what we think we need, and what we hope to get. But right now, here's kind of the guys that we're really hot on at the moment. We've talked about them from time to time, but we're going to get a little more detail now. Davey?
Yeah, Chance Robinson is really interesting. St. Thomas Aquinas wide receiver. There's been rumors out there that he's supposed to flip, and it's been out there for weeks, and nothing has happened so far. And he's been posting. He recently posted like a Florida Gator photo and all that, kind of teasing that. And look, I don't fall for that kind of stuff. I wasn't born yesterday, so if you're feeling Florida and you haven't committed yet, so what are you doing? We did talk to Myles Graham though, and he said what he had to say. Personally, before talking to Myles Graham, I thought that I think it kind of just wore off a little bit. Like I don't have the confidence that I did maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but maybe talking to Myles Graham instills a little bit more confidence in that. But I'm in the wait and see mode on that. When I'm doing wait and see and then it's taking a long time like this, I just say no, just so I don't if they wind up sticking to Miami, or if he winds up sticking to Miami, I'm not upset because I already thought he wasn't going to be here. Yeah. But I mean, after hearing Myles Graham talk, you never know. But to me, I think the flip rumor is kind of worn off, and I don't know what's going on. So that's just my guess, though. This is not me knowing any inside info or anything like that. It's just a guess.
And real quick, shout out to Sean D. Says, can't lie, Billy run this week has been impressive. And he's a Georgia fan. So, look, I think kudos. A lot of even on Harlan, he's an FSU fan. A lot of guys were kind of just like, damn, we can't say much. So I think that's respectful when you can come in here and say, hey, what do you want me to do? It was a hell of a run. Like, the same thing I always say when Georgia fans come here talking. It's just like, you guys are going back to back. Like, I got nothing for you. Leave me alone. Fletcher Westfall. This one, he's been hot on the trail. We had, I wouldn't say a month ago, we had Allie on. I think the noise is hot about him. He just had his official visit, I believe, this past weekend. We don't have much on him, but I really want this one. 4-star offensive lineman. We've talked about offensive linemen where the stars are a little finicky because you can get a 3-star guy or unrated guy from Germany and they be absolute dogs because it just comes more down to development and size. Well, this kid has the development and the size. And look, I think we're going to get into the future mock draft later on. You need a guy like this to really put this class together, in my opinion. It's I know you're going to say a 5-star wide receiver or whatever, but if we get 2 monster offensive linemen, it'll make me feel really good, especially with the fact that we have 2 flipping offensive lineman coaches. Like, how can we not land one big dog on the O-line? But that has the stars. Obviously, we got the size, but it'd be nice to get the stars. I think it'll kind of hush a few more people up. Obviously, stars on everything, but look, that's what we're going off of, and we can't see them on the field just yet in real, in college time. So, Davey?
Yeah, he just came off a visit too on the 16th, and he's going to visit Arkansas here on the 23rd. But I mean, if you look at his top schools that he's in it for, Arkansas is one of them. Clemson, Florida, Georgia. And look, these are schools that he's visited. Obviously, these are schools of interest, so you're going to have to battle Georgia, Clemson, Arkansas for this commitment. My feelings and thoughts are I feel decently good about it. I'm not going to say that I feel 100%. I would say this is a favorite term that they're all going to like because we say it in our group chat a lot. I'm going to say 60-40.
you decide.
They'll get that one.
You decide which 60-40 it is. And then, look, Steve's going to have a little bit to say about this one. TJ Abrams, wide receiver. He's currently committed to Florida State, right, Stevie?
Yep, he's still considered a quote unquote hard commitment. I would not consider that to be that is a soft commitment, about as soft as your dad was last night. But so look, I mean, he's gonna visit Florida State this weekend. He's been loving all of the Florida hype train stuff that happened from last weekend. He's still technically committed. He hasn't decommitted, but this is his official visit this weekend to FSU. This is going to be Norvell's chance to just get him re-engaged and lock that back in. I'm 60-40 on whether or not we bring him in as a Seminole this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of noise. I think you talked about it kind of early last week. Harlan was saying he doesn't feel good about it. There's a lot of noise behind it. There's a possibility of a flip happening. It's kind of settled down a little bit. What that means, I don't know. It's like to me, it feels like the Chance Robinson thing. Like it's like there was a lot of smoke behind it, and then it just settled out. So it's like, all right, guess we're just gonna wait and see then. Davey?
Yeah, 10.500 meter runner, pretty fast. He said visiting Florida opened up his eyes. Made him really wonder if Florida State was right for him. I mean, when somebody says that, I mean, that's kind of troubling. Like if one of my commits, was to go to another school and they said that about us, I'd be like, oh, okay, all right. But I mean, I've got a little bit more confidence in that flip more than I do the Chance Robinson flip. Obviously, he's going to take that visit there, and Josh Newberg at On 3 is going to gaslight it as much as he can and say that, oh, this is a 100% flip and do all this. You just ignore him. He'll try to gaslight it like he always does. But Florida's on fire right now, man, on the recruiting front, and I don't think that they're stopping. I would probably call it. I'd probably say it probably happens.
I love this. I love cocky Dave. Josh Newberg, he came up with a video. I agreed with him earlier today. It was a really well take. It was a good take for Newberg.
He's got
and I agree with him. I agree with what he said. It was a video. He said that all these headlines of these kids coming out. There's a few kids that came out of Florida that first weekend of Jubilee weekend. David Stone was one of them. A few other ones that I don't quite remember the name, but they all said that Florida set the bar high. And his take was that, look, the bar is set high, but which means I'm not going there, but thanks for having me come hang out for the weekend, and thanks for treating me nicely. It's a nice way of saying, like, hey, it's not you, it's me, was what he was kind of referring to. So interesting to kind of that thought. It was actually a pretty good take, I think. If you go look at some of the kids, they're saying, like, hey, yeah, they set the bar high. It's like, I'm not going to say no, I didn't like it there. There was a great time, but there's no way in hell I go here. But I can't say that. I got to continue to play my role. So keep an eye out for that. On anybody that comes to Florida and says that, they're probably not coming. And it's interesting. There's a few, though, that came out of that week one that you guys keep asking about. I would go take a look and see of which one said that. Now, is that 100% true? No, it's a take. But I don't disagree with what he said there. I think it was a pretty well take. Last we have Tara Hawkins. I believe I pronounced that correctly. IMG kid, which I love. Obviously, IMG's produces some studs. He just moved his commitment back from June 26th to July 1st. Down to 3 schools: Penn State, Florida, and who else? Miami?
The Fighting Ruizes.
Was it Miami?
Miami.
Okay, damn.
Yeah, Miami.
What's up? I'm pretty dialed in, boys. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, excuse me. I was muted there. Yeah, I like Jeray Hawkins. I mean, IMG guy, 10.45 meter runner. So he's fast. He's lightning quick too, just as fast as Abrams is. I feel really good about it. Like something tells me I just feel really good about it.
Kadarius Tony vibes.
Well, I don't know how. I don't think it's that shifty. I don't think anybody.
I said vibes, Dave.
It's
Work with me,
yeah.
buddy.
Vibes. Yes, vibes. Yes. But yeah, I feel good about Florida's chances here. Like I think when it comes down to July the 1st, I think he commits to Florida. I mean, that's just me. I mean, he may not. He could go to Penn State, could go to Miami, but I think right now, Florida's the pick.
Florida leads the way. Love it, man. And we're getting into the kind of the mock draft. A wide receiver, we got to start filling up on that. We got some other pieces filled up, but Billy Gonzalez, a new wide receiver hire. I need you to see it cook, baby.
If we come away with one of these, I'm happy. So
love that. $5 from Blanco real quick before we move on to the next topic. Says this is what happens when you build a great culture and have a great NIL package with it. The whole team recruits and shows love and not just coaches. Yes, guys, speaking of NIL packages, make sure you guys go check out Florida Victorious. We are working with them on a potential really cool segment that is in the works within the next 30 days, if I had to guess, just due to time. We were talking with Jen about it just the other day. So I'm really pumped for that. So if you guys look, Florida Victorious doesn't work. Okay, boys, it's working. So go check them out.
They've been doing work.
And yeah, the culture is something that I have been beating the drum on that I got laughed at a few months ago when I said that, Steve, you can remember this. Like, people were giving me a hard time. Like, look, Billy is building a culture where it's people are dialed in, they're hungry, and every kid that we have had on here has emulated that culture that I've spoken to. So I'm not crazy. And it's paying off now, which feels good when you put the time and the work and the effort in and get your return. And Gator versus Anybody says Holly just admit he played with Shelly's dad's flaccid. Is that what you?
Flaccid, yeah.
What?
Did you admit? Is that what happened, Steve?
Well, I wouldn't say I admitted it. It's a strong word,
guys. We're 6 away from 200 likes. I mean, it's a click. You know.
Wow. Already at 200.
Come on, guys. I love it. All right, real quick. Some Georgia talk, and then we're getting into FSU stuff, and then we're going to go mock up and the Tweets of the Week. Don't want to miss Tweets of the Week program because it's one of our new segments that Dave loves. He dropped the ball on the Tweet of the Week, but I was here to pick up the bag. Dylan Raiola on the move. So, I know Myles moved to Gainesville, but Dylan Raiola is moving all the way from Arizona to Georgia to play his senior year of high school ball. Is it Buford High School?
Yeah, it's Buford. With
KJ Bolden, who's a 5-star commit, currently committed to Georgia, on flip alert to Ohio State, I believe. And there's another 5-star there as well, I think. I mean, it's like the IMG of Georgia. I mean, with the talent pool that's there. And it interested me when I heard this because I'm like, man, this is it's one more step up. And look, Myles Graham, I didn't realize Myles moved to Gainesville, right? Like, there's a massive advantage there for Raiola, for Kirby, for the recruiting aspect, because you've got your right-hand guy, the leader of that recruiting class, there constantly. He'll be there every weekend. He'll be at every game. He'll be at all the practices watching. I mean, you're getting an inside track to this guy as soon as possible. Now, you can't do this for everybody, but it just shows the commitment from Dylan Raiola. And again, like, it feels like it's Kirby. And now I didn't realize Billy's doing it, which I love. Right? I think it's a chess move, right? I mean, it's how can I separate myself from the next person? And that's what people don't realize too. It's never a big move. It's a bunch of micro moves that equal up to a big one. And it's a micro move like this that's going to separate you from somebody else. Because look, Dylan Raiola probably won't play. We won't see this kid for 3 to 4 years, right? Because obviously he's got a senior year. He's not going to play his freshman year. Probably won't play his sophomore year. Honestly, just with the slew of talent they have. But come the junior year, if he stays in Georgia for all that time, that's a long time. Being next to Billy or being next to Kirby, seeing the process in Georgia, being part of that process, being just in it constantly over and over and over again. On our NFL show, we talked about with Anthony Richardson how he lacked that. He didn't have a lot of reps as a college quarterback or just going through the motions, which I think is going to impact him. Getting a little tangent here, on a side tangent here. But this is what's going to allow somebody like Raiola to have extreme success as soon as he hits the league. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more of this happen as the years go on, and probably this year, because I think this is going to really set things in motion. I might be looking too much into it, but I'm telling you, it's a small move like this that really, really gets the ball rolling there.
You go, Steve, if you have anything on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I mean, Dylan Raiola just coming off of the Elite 11 quarterback camp where he just went out there and looked like a damn near polished college quarterback coming out without even having played a game. But look, it's just another kind of feather in the cap for something like for Kirby, who's already just slaying it on the recruiting trail. He's just been able to just reload instead of having to restock talent. He's just year after year after year, even when it feels like they may have, like last year, their defense was going to take a step back after all that talent got drafted. They're all still there. It just is a testament to the things that sometimes don't seem like a big deal, or maybe you don't even know, that are just continually build a foundation of success. And look, it would have never even crossed my mind to think that you would relocate a high school kid to be closer to the college so you can have more interaction and more direct, I guess, control over his training. But it just seems so obvious until when you hear it, right? But it's just it tells you why some of these coaches are heads and shoulders above some of the others, and you can't quite put your finger on why. This is where the why comes in. This is how and why some of these coaches are able to do that. Now, look, resources come into play as well, but this is just it's a great move on Kirby's part, and I think it's going to put Raiola into a position, even with the stockpile of talent they have at quarterback, where I don't believe any of these other quarterbacks did what Dylan just did, where he's been this exposed to the program. He could be a sophomore starter,
sure,
because nobody
100%.
Carson Beck's looked okay. Like, they were still kind of question marks on who their quarterback was going to be. This could very well propel Dylan Raiola, who I think is going to be easily the most naturally talented quarterback on the roster when he gets there, into a starting position sooner, where maybe this is something that Kirby looked at his current quarterback room and said, we got to do something different. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but you've got to be a fifth-year quarterback. You got to be in college for 6 years before you're ever good at quarterback at Georgia. I don't know what it is about Georgia quarterbacks, but you got to be like 30 years old before you're good. So maybe this is them seeing we're not going to continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. This is an interesting move on Kirby's part. And I think, actually, all things considered, with the level of talent that they got with Dylan Raiola, that it will likely show that it'll be a different outcome.
And KJ Bolden has not committed to Georgia. I apologize. I got him confused with Ellis Robinson, another five. It's just 5-star galore over there. So my apologies for mixing up the 5 stars. I thought I don't know why I thought KJ Bolden committed to Georgia, but he's crystal ball there.
That's a good problem to have, mixing up like 5 stars.
Yeah.
He's definitely gonna be playing tougher competition. I mean, Buford, they pump out talent. That's a very talent-rich school over there. I mean, he'll be playing with talent too, so I'm sure that they'll probably win a lot of games, especially with Dylan Raiola there. But he will be playing harder competition. So, I mean, I'm kind of excited to see how he does against harder competition. But he will have better pieces around him too. So you got to kind of equal that out right there. But I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, it's a good move.
Opposite of what Arch did. Right, Arch plays at an easy school. This guy goes to a harder school. You got to respect it.
Yeah. Total respect for it. And plus, like you said, the recruiting factor. I mean, it's Georgia. They're in Georgia, and you have your number one quarterback and the number one quarterback in the class coming to Georgia to come recruit. So, I mean, it's a smart move. But I mean, I'm just curious to see how he does against harder competition, because now I want to see, because now I'm like, the Georgia fans are saying, oh well, he's better than so-and-so. Well, he's going to be playing harder competition. We'll see.
Love it. I'm surprised Dave that was hard for Dave there, boys. He's a big Georgia guy.
No, I mean, I still like his film. I think he's good. I talk a lot of crap to those Georgia fans because it's only like 3 guys. Is the only reason why I do it. But like, minus that, like, I actually like it.
Trouble in Doka Dice for Steve there. Look, man, how the tables have turned. I swear the last 2 weeks, it was like a hoot and holler fest for FSU. And Dave and I are yelling at one another going, where the hell's Jubilee weekend? Like, we were getting blasted. And within a matter of 72 hours, the FSU forums are in complete shambles. It's typical fan base. I mean, what do you expect? But look, you missed out on some guys, which really got the ball going, and you haven't made up for it either. There's a little bit of a panic in the room. Is there reason to be panicking, or is everything gonna be okay, Steve? Calm him down a little bit.
So it's going to be kind of two part, right? I mean, so as of right now, so as Florida's making this huge push of landing 5-star, 4-star guys back to back to back, in the last 72 hours per se, Florida State had a 4-star edge named Dylan Stevenson out of Miami, of all places. Who went out on a official visit to Stanford and made a commitment to Stanford while he was there. In the same fold, another offensive lineman out of IMG, actually, which hurts even more because you certainly want to try to keep some sort of a pipeline flow in there. Jason Zandamela goes out to USC. He's basically projected to be a center, internal offensive lineman, goes out to USC and makes a commitment there. He was a 4-star prospect that FSU had been recruiting for years, and it felt like that guy was almost as much of a silent commitment, a lock for FSU that you could possibly imagine. So two kids out of Florida that Florida State had spent some time building relationships with that have essentially been lost. Now, look, I'm not going to ever tell a kid who wants to go to Stanford because they want to focus on their academics not to go to Stanford and focus on your academics. It's a hell of a school. So that's one thing, right? But to have Zandamela go out to USC, and even for the fact that USC hadn't been recruiting him for very long, where FSU had the relationship, it looks like it's probably an NIL situation. I don't think Florida State can get into a spending battle with USC, especially if it's not somebody who's going to be the number 1 to number 3 recruit on our prospect board. So if you lose a kid to academics, you say, you know what, you chalk it up to a loss at Stanford. What are you going to do? But you lose a kid to USC who you built the relationship with the NIL, and now you're looking at potentially.
That's a hard out.
It is, and then you got to win some of these, right? You can point to the reason why a kid goes to one place and another kid goes to another, but you got to start winning some of these battles. And to have a kid like Zandamela, who I believe is a bigger loss for Florida State than Dylan Stevenson, the defensive end, that one stings a little bit because I felt like Florida State felt he was in the bag. So those are two. I won't say that Dylan Stevenson is a catastrophic loss. I think he was going to be a take for Florida State. They were absolutely going to bring the kid on. I don't think they're at the other end of the spectrum, considering the depth that we have at that position. I don't think they're upside down over it. Zandamela, I believe, was a shock for the coaching staff. Alex Atkins, our offensive line and offensive coordinator, and then of course Norvell. I think they were very, very caught off guard.
I've been giving Norvell the transfer, the portal crown for the last 2 years now. But I think you and I talked earlier today that change is going to come, and it's going to tighten tighten it down a little bit. And if you're not, you got to recruit well. And we've had this conversation. Can you not recruit well and just thrive off the portal? That question is going to be left, unanswered for a while. We're going to need to see a couple years of how this process goes. But the thing with the portal is, because it is so vital right now, that changes will come, and it's not going to be positive for anybody. And I don't think they're going to have as much free will as they had. So with that, I think recruiting is still, which we kind of always came back to, have the same amount of importance that it's always had. The portal helps make up for lack of things. And it looks like Lane and even the guy out in USC, I can't think of his name right now, Lane, Norvell, and Lincoln all went really heavy on the portal. The one thing that Lincoln has done well, though, is he's starting to recruit well as well this year. He's not just waiting on the portal. He did what the portal was supposed to do. It allowed for him to transition and kind of help him through his first year. So that's it's a little nerve-wracking, too, that, look, yeah, you guys are doing great in the portal, but now you're starting to slack off. Charles Lessard is a big one. Florida was on the hot case, lost that pretty quickly. He has been a Florida State guy the entire time. That, to me, is going to be your Lagway, in a sense, the guy that kind of leads your class and can really get the ball going for you with a 5-star talent like that. Colorado's in the mix. And anytime Colorado's in the mix with a cornerback and you're an FSU guy, you got to be shaking in your boots a little bit. I don't think they flip it, but honestly, dude, who knows? He's been heavy with Florida State stuff. Could it just be a monster troll? Could you run into one of those situations again? That would sting. That would hurt more than a lot. Look, I don't know how much, because obviously Coach Prime had that his foot thing where he's possibly losing it. Who knows how much of a negative impact that's happening on recruiting as well? Who knows? But that could be the straw on the camel's back, and the Norvell camp could get a little wobbly quickly. Now, obviously, they're still projected to have a good season, but that could really wobble things up for recruiting.
Sure. Well, Charles Lester, the one thing I will say for him is that he's told everybody that his commitment date is going to be, I want to say the 29th of this month. So he's already locked in when he's going to announce. FSU has a massive recruiting weekend, and we talked about it a little bit here, whereas Florida's big-time recruiting. Yeah. Go ahead and switch over. So Florida's big-time recruiting weekend obviously was a week or two ago at the beginning.
We've had two back-to-back, but the Jubilee weekend that we all hyped was week 1. Yep.
Right. But Florida State's big weekend is this weekend coming up. So, I mean, I'm looking at it like, okay, so why would Charles Lester pick the week around all these kids coming in to announce his commitment date if it didn't feel like there was some level of coordination there with some of the other kids coming in this weekend that may be committing as well? Again, it's impossible to tell anymore with what you're picking up and trying to find the vibe and trying to read the tea leaves on social media and things like that. But to your point, look, I mean, the Travis Hunter thing absolutely kind of put shockwaves into Tallahassee. They didn't expect that at all. And of course, Dion is going to be Dion, and he's going to wow these kids. But I think I'm hoping that the relationship that Charles Lester has had with FSU, the fact that he's essentially been a bell cow for the recruiting class and been recruiting for FSU on these visits, these unofficial visits that he's been on with the kids that are on officials. There's got to be some level of relationship there that'll bring that over, because to your point, if Charles Lester doesn't end up as a Seminole, that is a massive loss. But look, this weekend's a big weekend for Florida State. We've got Landon Thomas, the 5-star tight end that we flipped from Georgia just a couple months back. I want to say at the beginning of April, which for FSU feels like a decade ago. Forever since we've had some positive recruiting news. But he's going to be on campus. He's certainly a hard commit for FSU. Luke Cromanhook coming out of the Elite 11.
Elite 11.
Pretty good. Yep. He's going to be on campus as well. So we kind of have our Lagway on campus for this recruiting class, or this recruiting visit, kind of like you guys did.
Do you expect some noise this weekend?
I do. Look, it's not going to be. I don't think I think it'll be what you saw with your weekend, where you don't get these big splashes during the week or during the visits, but you're going to probably see something by the end of the next week. Again,
not 4 in a day.
Probably by the end of that Friday. But look, I mean, you're talking about Zandamela still potentially coming on, and he just committed to USC. We got Makai Danzy, who's a Florida State battle. He's a 4-star kid out of Tallahassee. Let's see who else. TJ Abrams is going to be on campus this weekend for Florida State, which is another opportunity, like we talked about, for FSU to try to shut down that commitment, just get him back into the fold. So a lot of opportunity for FSU to take, kind of like what Florida did, right? You take that body punch, you take that shot to the ribs, it hurts. How do you respond? Do you swing back? Can you come back with a haymaker of your own and make an impact on a positive level that maybe pick up some momentum?
UCF's humping, Florida's humping. Miami and FSU seem to be kind of in a little bit of a, lost. I mean, Miami has 12 3-star committed. They're 11, or 9. They have 11 commits, 9 of them being 3-stars. So you want to separate yourself from them for sure. You don't want to end up in that boat. I don't think you guys will. I think you're in a much healthier place than them. But yeah, I think, look, FSU needs to respond to just the overall punches in recruiting from what's happening around them this weekend, for sure.
I mean, this is like the last straw before the dead period. I mean, you're going to have a whole month of dead period. Now, of course, somebody could commit during the dead period, but like if you really want to put on a 5-star show, this would be the weekend to do it, especially after this whole month. I don't think y'all have had any commitments, have y'all? Like maybe one or no?
No, I don't believe so. No. I think the last big news that FSU had was the Landon Thomas flip. And that was at the middle of April.
And that one was big.
April.
That was huge, and I feel like with a double flip like that, you got to feel like
it's a lot. Right, there was no momentum with it.
Yeah, I felt like it kind of just fell flat. They didn't capitalize on it.
I feel like they're saving Lester's commitment for this weekend probably to get
No,
some
he's July
momentum.
29th.
And
July
so
29th is his date.
That is a smart tactic, though. Like,
it's July 29th.
Yeah.
I just looked.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that's a smart tactic because if you know he's absolutely going to commit to Florida State, you want to get a highly ranked 5-star to do that in front of all those kids, and then hopefully you can get some of those kids to jump on that train with him.
Yeah, and just real fast, if you look at the state of Florida recruiting, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that that Florida had Mullen, FSU had Taggart. I can't remember the guy who Miami had, the guy who wore the tie for all of the games, right?
Yeah.
I think he came from
Golden,
Al Golden. Yeah, there you go. And then UCF had Scott
swagger,
Frost,
boys.
I want to say back then. But I mean, just look at the level of coaching recruitment that has moved into the big schools in Florida. Taggart is probably maybe third.
Florida's getting stiff, boy. It's getting thick in here.
It's getting extremely difficult when you've got UCF, who's a massive school, by the way, from a population standpoint.
They're a threat now.
They're a threat. And then, I mean, look, the Fighting Ortiz is down there. He's always been a great recruiter, even in Oregon. I mean, he's shown in his past that he can recruit well. He's been a game day problem, and then of course you've got Billy now. So it just fighting to keep the talent in the. Look, we've had a hard time keeping Florida talent in Florida. Ohio State's been plucking us to death. Alabama's been plucking the state. Clemson's been plucking the state, and now you've got these colleges that are taking recruiting to a different level. And it feels like that border is going to start to get shut down with 4 big time universities all fighting over the.
It's gonna be fun to
state.
Watch over the next few years.
Absolutely.
Real quick though, super chat from Adrian says UF or FU unless it's Stevie. There's some love there for you, Steve. Before we get into our next, we have 2 things left. Appreciate you guys hanging over 200 people in here all for almost an hour and a half. Is incredible. Shout out to the Gator baseball team, boys. You guys yelling at me in the chat, bro. What a game. Why they got to put us through that every week, each game, I don't know, but we're in the chip, boys, playing for the Natty. Could we end up with 3 national championships in 3 different sports in 3 months? Oh, my, here we go. Baseball, it's been an absolute blast to watch. I mean, college baseball it's electrifying, and it did not disappoint today. Excited to see. I think LSU is winning right now, which is great. I would love for LSU to get the W. Really don't care for either one, but Wake Forest is nasty, so I think we match up better against LSU. Baseball's finicky, boys. Just kind of depends on who shows up on that day. I think Oklahoma has softball tuned out, but baseball's a little bit different, huh?
I said also where the ball flies too. I mean, that's how. This is why
I don't talk baseball with Dave, guys. Gotta shut him down. And Timothy says this show is better than Sports Center. I appreciate it, Tim.
Thank you.
That's a hell of a compliment. I appreciate that.
Well, maybe we'll be on Sports Center one time. How about that?
Maybe.
We wouldn't give them the luxury. No, maybe Sports Center could be on High Top. We'll let some of them on.
Yeah,
they can give us a hot take.
True
Let's go,
that.
baby.
Yeah, great catch at the end there. Incredible catch. So look, guys. Actually, Tim was the one who kind of gave me this idea here for a recruiting mock-up, like an NFL, mock-up draft, recruiting mock-up on what's left, right? What do we need? Who are we thinking that we're going to go and get? So what I put together here, bear with me, okay? Follow along here if you can. I know it might be a little bit small for some of you. Get over it.
Follow the instructions.
So the top left corner, you see a number. That's what we have currently. The bottom right number is a max projection of what we need for that position. So, for example, the running back one we have 1 running back, which is the top number. The bottom number is what I think we need. It's the projected number that we need. We've got about 7 to 9 spots left, depending on who you ask. I think 26 is the number, right, Dave? 25, 26 is the number.
I've heard 22, 23, 25, and they'll go over if they have to go over, from what I've heard. So,
okay.
Well, we're just gonna kind of wing it.
So right now we've got that Jackson always have 1 tight end / wide receiver. Now we also have the wide receivers, so we're kind of put this together. I would expect to get 2, maybe 3. 3 might be pushing it because again we don't have so many spots left over. We had a hell of a recruiting class last year, so maybe we get 2 more guys because we already have 1 4-star. If we're able to pull 2, again 3 wouldn't. I'm sure if they want to stretch it out for 27, they wouldn't mind, but probably 3 more. If I had to guess, one of those possibly being a tight end. So you got a little bit of a mixture there. Then we move over into the safety / cornerback DB because in high school, I mean, those are things you can mesh those things together. Dave, what was your projection for the DB / cornerbacks? Probably one or two more.
I would say at least two.
Okay. With safety and cornerback, right? But just kind of a mixture of the two.
Yeah, safety you already got Phil Same and I don't know. Yeah. That's
Josiah Davis is the other one. Well, he's a cornerback.
So just one more. I would say one more then.
One more. Okay. Then running back, obviously we have the one we lost Chauncey Bowens. The one thing I will say we're pretty thick in is running backs, but again, we only got one last class. We made up for it with the transfer portal, but we probably losing Montreal. So I think one more would be great. Could we get away with it? Maybe. If we and we'll get into this, if we make up for it in other positions, I would be okay with taking one in this particular class. It is a healthy class, but they seem to have their home. I think losing Bowens was a tough one, and we might be a little behind the 8 ball, and Stacey Gage being committed. Jarrett Gibson obviously still out there. That'd be a hell of a pull, but we'll see. Quarterback, we have to get another one. We don't have one for 2023. The portal changes things a little bit, but I think you have to get another guy here, right? I mean, at least a 3-star that you can put together, develop. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, I mean, that was Billy's plan to begin with until this whole Austin Simmons thing happened. So, yeah, he's probably going to take another quarterback. I mean, so
have to.
Whether it's I don't know if it's going to be in this class technically, but probably in the portal when portal season comes up. Maybe that's what I would assume.
Yeah, maybe that's.
I mean, you would rather take an experienced one just in case instead of maybe putting a new one in there. But hey, I don't know their plan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, if he feels confident enough that hey, I can go put to. And I think Mertz has one more year too.
I would assume it would just be Lagway this class.
Okay, fair enough. O-line. I would like. So we've got 3 currently. I would like 3 more. That's a big wish list. I think 2 more is a sweet spot. If we can get Fletcher, I know Callaway was a name that's being thrown around. We get those 2, I would be very happy with the offensive line class with the sheer size that would be coming in. So 6, I'm being overly zealous with the offensive lineman. I think just because I feel like we kind of lacklustered it a little bit. But we have a pretty healthy class for 2023. So maybe probably again 1 or 2 more. We'd be okay, but 1 or 2 more.
I would say 1. I wouldn't push 2. I would just say 1 more. You already got 3 in the class. That would be 4. I mean, and plus what you got in the portal on top of that. I mean, some of those guys only have 1 year, but some of them have multiple years. So I would say, I mean, if you grab 2 more, I mean, just for futuristically opportunities, or if an elite one comes up, you definitely grab it. So
sure.
If you take over offensive lineman and an elite top 101 comes on the board, yeah, you take the guy.
I think offensive lineman. There's more on the roster than I think people can comprehend. Those things, you got to have a lot of them. You don't see how they kind of come in, just they kind of get lost in the sauce. But I'm thinking 2, but we can agree to disagree on that one. Defensive tackle, lines, edge, all that jazz. I think probably 1 more. I know Jordan Ross is pretty big on us right now. We've got 4 currently. I think 1 more is a sweet spot, especially with the class that's already there and the guys that are already in staff. 1 more really kind of fits the vibe.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't get 1 more in here, I would say
we
1
could get
more,
away with
but
no more.
If you don't, that defensive line class you recruited last year was phenomenal anyway. So yeah. I mean, you're okay with not taking 1 more, but I would want more. Yeah, I would go with 1.
You could get away with not having another one, and again, if we take that away and throw another wide receiver / maybe a tight end, running back for sure, and another big safety, then that'll work. And then linebackers, Myles said he was working on a few other guys. I had it at 0. I figured we're locked in with 3, but he said he's humping for some more. So
that's up to the staff.
We just work here. We just work.
I was about to say, I would assume with the linebacker core you got right now and Aaron Childs that just committed to Florida, with you got 3 elite linebackers, and you see that Christopher Jones is trending to Georgia, I would assume that they're probably not going to try to take another linebacker.
Oh, is he trending to Georgia?
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure we're full and we told him no.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You guys are going to start to come up on just an overall numbers game, right? I mean, how many recruits do you have currently?
16.
16? 16?
We're running out of room, boys.
Yeah. That's
in a
that's
good
kind
way.
of the point. That's kind of where it's at. Like, I mean, to kind of what Myles was saying earlier, right? And I think we even kind of echoed it here when he was talking about, maybe I think it was Smith he was talking about. Like, look, it's the end of June. If you haven't given the school an indication, a real indication that you're interested and are looking to be a part of a class, that class is going to fill up, and the school isn't going to wait. I mean, they can only hold maybe one or two spots for the maybe guys, the 5-star guys that are the 100% if we have the opportunity. But you can't fill your class because then you got to tell somebody, hey, sorry, we got to take that back, right? So you can only hold a spot or two open, and if not, like if you've got guys who are still not even giving you, that vibe that there's a potential there, you got to fill the spots, because if not, then there's another school that's going to give the kid all the attention in the world and lock him in and not make him a potential fit. If you get a spot, if that guy doesn't say yes, then you lose him, right? So it's a balance when you get this far into the numbers on your instant takes versus how do you keep these kids engaged but not say no, but not say yes.
Where are we at with Kendall Jackson, Dave?
Huh?
Kendall Jackson. We have him on the show. Where are we at with that?
Oh, I don't know. I have no clue. I haven't even asked. I would assume since he's from Gainesville, they're probably still in contact with him.
I feel like that one's a weird one, just because he's been pretty close the whole time. Unlike Jared, like he goes to Buchholz. I mean, that's always gonna. I think that one if it doesn't commit, it could be a late flip just because he is so closely connected.
Yeah. I mean, and this is where I say, like, if an elite pops up and you want to keep everybody in your class and it's part of a position you got full, do you take him still? I mean, you know, like at linebacker, we already got 3 elite linebackers. What if a ranked 30th linebacker wants
only one I'm budging for is Sammy Brown, boys. Only one I'm budging for. That's it.
Is it because of the mullet?
But
it doesn't matter why. It's the only reason I'm budging for. Okay.
For the most part, though, like at positions, I give my opinion, but if an elite one comes up, that's probably going to change their mind, or maybe tell somebody else, hey, see ya, whatever. But I don't think the staff does that. So,
this right here, North Florida Cowboy. What's up, big dog? How you man? I heard Hayes was still shopping around Miami trying to get him. So that visit that y'all saw, it was a group thing. It wasn't like he went down there by himself. So
yeah, he went there with his whole class.
Yeah, I think he was just having some fun. Look, and you heard Myles. I think people are still listening, and they're open to conversations. I think Hayes is one of them because he said, hey, I haven't shut down my recruitment. I think he wants to fish his, still hear his opportunities. But like Myles said, I think he was speaking to like, hey, like these guys are committed for sure. Could things happen? Yes, but we'll see. All right, boys. So our last little segment here, again, 200 strong the entire night. We didn't drop under that number. We're 2 likes away from 250. So if you haven't liked it, please do.
I think they stayed just to see if Holly was going to cry.
Whatever. They stayed.
It'll take way more than that. Let's go, baby.
They stayed. So I appreciate you guys coming in here and hanging out and showing us some love as always. So let's get to today's favorite segment of the week, tweets of the week. First one being traditional. Noel tweeted out, there is something real shady going on with UF right now. My alarm bell is sounding. SEC Barstool retweeted it and said, in a wild turn of events, FSU fans went from mocking UF athletics to jumping aboard the Memphis Mike hype train after the Cheez-It Bowl victory. Now, as UF eyes a College World Series title and is on fire in recruiting, they're calling for an investigation into the Florida football program. And I made a little bit about that as well. As all of a sudden shit hit the fan. It's like, okay, hold the phone. Wait, what happened?
But everybody said that. It wasn't just FSU fans. Everybody was like,
no, everybody.
Yeah, there was. I remember going on LSU boards and they were saying that too. And I've always said in recruiting, it's always better to be the accused than the accuser.
I remember sitting in this chair when Miami was hot, and I said, look, we're all pointing the fingers, but if the shoe was on the other foot, we'd be like, hell yeah, that's us, baby, we're doing it. So. Yeah. I said it when it was happening. I go, look, it sucks. And I was like, maybe it'll come back to bite them in the ass. And I said, look, I think a long game's going to work out for Florida. And it seems to be working out now. But I did say, look, when you're on top, it feels good, no matter how you get there. And if you're being accused of cheating, especially if you're not cheating, it feels a lot better when you're doing it the right way. So it's a compliment. Take it as a compliment.
The funny part is I think Florida fans are even a little surprised because they went from, we got to get our NIL shit straight, to, oh my God, the NIL is amazing within a course of 60 days.
Hell of a turnaround. Feels good. Another one here from Blue Orange Gator. I mean, if you guys aren't following this account, this guy is
this guy's hilarious, man.
Bro, this guy, bro, does not hold back. He has no filter. I don't know who he is. His troll game is incredible, bro. He sometimes he posts some shit. I'm like, bro, it's borderline. Like, oh yeah, easy. Like he throws out some daggers here. I posted this one a couple times. I think when we lost on a few guys, I was like, nice, all right, like fuck it. And yeah, he tweeted out, goes, I remember having to tell myself that my 3 stars from Florida were better than everyone else. Everyone else is 5 stars too. Like, all right, yeah. Look, we're just saying, it wasn't too long ago. We weren't feeling that.
Yeah, we were doing that with Dan Mullen, saying, "Oh yeah, 3 stars from Florida are better than 5 stars from Maryland and Arizona." Yeah,
you got to protect the boys.
The film. Watch the film.
There it is.
Watch the huddle.
Yeah,
now Miami fans are saying that.
I love this place. 262 likes. You guys are incredible. And then this is where Dave dropped the ball. I had to come in. I had to come and pick up the fumble. Dave, don't say anything more. Mute your mic. You're done. You're turned off. Princely tweeted out when the shit hit the fan. This is Lane Kiffin's son. Wearing a Gator book bag. He tweeted it out, responding, I think, to what, like, he retweeted somebody's, like, when I think we got Morris Williams, he retweeted this picture to it with no caption, because no caption was needed on this. I mean, an absolute stunner to the weekend. And then the Florida Gator marketing or content team, they posted a Won't Back Down clip that did very well as well too. So I heard someone else said Won't Back Down karaoke this weekend. Not sure who it was. There's a clip going around on the internet. I heard the guy was incredible though. Might be on the next American Idol. So if you haven't seen it, I'd check it out. It's on High Top Sports. But yeah.
yeah.
Well,
this one was funny.
The first time we've seen his kid in Florida gear, right? I feel like it's
he tweeted this out himself. Lane did, like, hey, like, Bailey loves you, but the way that Princely used it, he used his own ammo against him, and it worked. Yeah. Like if he would just retweeted it, like no big deal. But the timing of it was just perfectly executed. Yeah. Oh, phenomenal!
That's funny. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was just like I haven't seen that photo in the longest time, and when I saw it, I was like, dude, that is so perfect. I wish I would have thought of that, because I usually will post stuff like that. He got me first. I was like, man, I wish I would have thought of that picture he posted a long time ago.
That's how you know that it's a good tweet, is when you fuck, I wish I would have thought of that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you know it. That's, hey, you got to give it up. Bro, Tom Petty karaoke sounds like a plan, Sheldon. If you guys did, I did it a couple times this past weekend, if you haven't seen it yet. So you got to go check that out for sure.
Yeah, and there was a lot of funny ones that people sent me, and like I went through a lot of them, and I was just like, man, there's so many good ones in here, and it's so hard. I think what we need to do, Shelton, is like have a 5-minute show of just all the tweets of the week and just post it.
Dave, you could this weekend.
Just all the ones that we didn't, all the ones we didn't choose for the live show.
Yeah, all the ones from this week. There was plenty. Let's go to
tweets where like so we all find some that are positive for our team, and the other person has to read the ones that are shitting on them.
We have so many options. Twitter is a wonderful place.
It really is. Okay. Thank you, Elon, for all you do.
Hey, real quick, this is kind of funny. So Greg Whitlock is a Tennessee fan. Says, what about time? Wow, about time, Florida Gators. Get something going for them. Still losing to us again. Tennessee fan. Right underneath him is my little brother Cole. What you can't see, which is unfortunate, is his profile picture is of him in his Tennessee uni. right underneath the Tennessee guy. He really enjoyed his time at Tennessee. So, okay, he was at the UCF camp this weekend. Cole was, but Cole and Logan, both on the bros, they will be at Friday Night Lights this weekend. So, pumped to see them. We'll definitely get some content of them working and grinding, and they'll be participating. They're not going to be like Myles and recruiting. They'll actually be having a good time and hanging out. So.
Yeah, you should get a video of you trying to do the 40-yard dash with Myles Graham and see who wins.
Yeah, look, if he's, I don't know if I'll be able to do a 40-yard. I got to stretch for that, bro. I have my boots on Friday. Florida Native says Kelby Collins retweeted the spacesuit. Yeah, dude, I didn't realize that. Steve goes, "Hey, Kelby retweeted your thing." I go, "What?" And then I went on there, and my Twitter was just, oh my gosh. I love that he saw that. That's cool, man, because obviously I have a good time and showing those guys some love. So the fact that he saw it and retweeted it, that's pretty cool. I love that. That was a good time. So
Yeah,
Well,
that was pretty sick, man. I saw it too, and I was just like, yeah, man. Kelby's funny. He's funny.
Yeah, he's a good time. Well, guys, look, I hope you enjoyed the show. I think it was a phenomenal show. Myles was awesome. And look, we're just getting started. Allie Peak's going to be on next week.
Yep.
Hey, job's not finished. Jaden Hill should be on next week. It's pretty much confirmed, right?
Yeah.
That one was confirmed. The other one was between 2 dates. Can we say the other one? I think we can, right? That one was, he said it was good to go, just the date. And then we're going to have Judd on. That I'm working on that one. That one could be a cool one. It has potential there. I'm working on it. And then we're going to have Princely on after that. So the lineup is here. We're going to get us through the summer, boys. That was the goal, okay? The summertime blues, High Top's going to get you through, all right? 1 week at a time, because by the time all that's said and done, guess what month it's going to be, boys and girls? August. And you know what happens in August? We're starting to bust uglies. And August is going to be jam-packed too. Don't get it twisted. And not to mention we're working on something with Victorious on getting together with the players, the current players as well. So if you're not subscribed, locked in, dialed in, part of the membership, I don't know what you're doing with your free time, but it's not the right thing. That's all that I know.
Discord too. Part of the Discord.
We're like less than 100 people away from 15,000 subs. Another milestone on the way. We're humping and moving, boys. I don't know what to tell you. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and dead period's coming up, man. We will have you covered and entertained through that dead period here on High Top.
You know how we do it around here, boys. Well, guys, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. If some news pops, we'll be rocking and rolling. We will be live multiple times for Friday Night Lives. We're working on it with the team. We've got some ideas, some game plans. We're bringing the studio with us to a certain extent. So keep your eyes peeled for that so you guys can get some coverage. If you're not able to make it, turn the bell on. So when we go live, again, I don't have those scheduled out yet. It'll just be kind of on the spot when we can drop it when it's hot. And you know how we like to do. We like to get buck wild with it. So love you guys, as always. Appreciate y'all for stopping in here, hanging out with us, showing your love. Go follow Myles Graham on Twitter. Like, subscribe, turn the bell. Until next time, I'm Shelton.
I'm Holly.
And I'm the Dave Meister.
Boogity fucking boogity, boys.
I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'm tied up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed.